Exclusively on the OysterLink Podcast, the fastest growing hospitality job platform in the US, Mattia Cicognani, founder of 84 Magic Hospitality, shares his journey from the academic world of restaurant management to creating a truly unique dining experience in Miami. Rooted in Italian hospitality traditions, his philosophy revolves around three main pillars: people, food, and atmosphere. Mattia's innovative approach comes to life through the unique concepts behind his three restaurants, each with no menu and focused on serving a single dish. Hear more about how he delivers unforgettable dining experiences. Only on the OysterLink Podcast, your weekly dose of stories and insider tips from America's top hospitality professionals. Hello, Mattia. Thank you for joining us today.
Hi, Matthew. Thank you. Thank you, OysterLink. I really appreciate that.
So, to start, could you please introduce yourself? Tell us a bit about your career path, whatever you would like to share with the audience.
Sure, Matthew. Well, I grew up in the hospitality business till when I was very young. My grandfather was a restaurant owner in Bologna. I'm from Bologna, actually. Well, a city very close to Bologna. And I fall in love with the hospitality. Hospitality is feeling welcome, and when you have somebody in your house, that means the real sense of the hospitality. I always work in the hotel business and also in restaurant, and moving in Miami was a challenge. Before that, I was professor in an economics and management school in Modena as a restaurant management, and I wrote books about hospitality. I wrote articles about hospitality, and yes, I moved in Miami, and it was a challenge. And we offered some really Italian restaurants, and we built this. This is the name of our group, is 84 Magic Hospitality.
So you went from the academic life to the practical life in hospitality. You proved
Right.
that whatever you talked about works really well. I mean, giving the results that I'm seeing from 84 Magic.
It's true. It's exactly like that. I mean, I teach that, and now I still teaching that, because when you teach, this is very important in my opinion. When you teach, you actually learn something, and I still teaching and I still learning something, and that's what happened here in
Nice.
Miami. I mean,
And what about 84 Magic? Can you tell me, starting from the name, where does it come from? And what do you have? What are your restaurants, or like what business are you doing right now?
when we talk about 84 Magic Hospitality, magic already is something, is something incredible. The word magic, and if I can translate this in Italian, means magia, and hospitality is actually magia, because what I say usually to my employers is we are in a theater, and for me and for my company, actually we have three important points of this magia. 84 Magic means people, which means the people they work with us, but also our customers. The second point, essential, is the food. We have an idea of the great Italian food, and we know how Italian food means. And the last, but actually not least, is the atmosphere, which means what you feel when you are in our restaurants. Means I think you can feel in Italy. You can feel to live in Italy in a couple of hours. And yes, we start to open the first restaurant. It's called Cotoletta. We have just one item on the menu, is a veal chop Milanese, because it's really good. And what I'm gonna say to you is just one item, but all the generation like it, the Milanese, And then our second restaurant is called San Lorenzo, which is a no-menu restaurant. And the last one is called Si Papa, and we serve just lasagna. lasagna bolognese, and tiramisu. So that's it.
I'm having a lot of questions, by the way, right now that you mentioned the restaurants and the whole no menu concept. So let me start from, let's say, first of all, the Italian part. As you said, it looks like you're bringing the Italian values of hospitality to Miami, which is a very diverse market. What are the like non-negotiable principles to you in this case? The hospitality principles, of course.
Well, um, hospitality, as I tell you, is about feeling welcome, and then is not negotiable because when you think about people, you think about everything. You know, so the atmosphere, that's one of the main point I think non-negotiable in the restaurant business. In another hand, also the people is gonna tell you about the concept, about the dish, should be very much more in love with this concept than our customers, which means our server, waiters, manager, they must be very in love with our concept, and then I think that means hospitality, and that means the secret of the good living.
The secret of the good living. Nice.
Yes, actually, because hospitality is the secret of the good living, and Italian knows that. I mean,
So can I say that this is the, let's call it secret strategy for the success of all the restaurants of 84 Magic Hospitality? Because all your restaurants went viral in a few days after opening. So is that the strategy, or is there anything else that you can also add to that?
well, I don't know if the strategy can be the exactly word. The thing is, as you know, Matthew, we don't have a menu. In each restaurant, we don't have a menu. That's something very strong for, I think, for the American culture. Is also strong for an Italian culture, but not for real, because we are more involved in this. Usually, I'm gonna tell you, Italian cuisine is about regional cuisine. If you go to Bologna, for my town, for example, the most important dish you can eat is the lasagna alla bolognese, or the tagliatelle ragù alla bolognese, or the tortellini. You know, it's something simple, but you can find that dish in every restaurant in Bologna, which means every restaurant. And I don't know if it's a secret, but when we start to speak about that, so we have no menu, people was very, very interesting about it. And that's create curiosity, which means I love curiosity, and I love people that are curious. And that was really important for us. But at the end, what is more important is people trust the experience. And when people try us and they can find a good hospitality, which means the sense of beauty, which means the sense of the Italian beauty, which means the sense of simplicity, then can be a good opportunity to trust, for the guest to trust you, to trust the experience. And we have not a lot of things, but the thing we do is always great, because we don't want to do what we are not able to do. We do the only great thing we do great. Best product, fresh. When I say fresh, I mean very fresh, you know. And all of these things can be our secret, if if that can be an answer, a great answer. I mean,
No, I love how you mentioned that you got people curious over one menu item. Your menu has one item and it's simple. Still, you got people to be curious about the simplicity that you're offering. So I want to ask here, how did you come up with this idea? Where did it come from? Like, okay, you're planning your restaurants, you want to open something in Miami, and then you decided to have this single menu item concept, or like the restaurant without a menu. How did this come to happen? What were you thinking of?
this can be a secret, but I want to tell you
Okay.
something about it. Think about what people love. And of course, I'm Italian, and the only cuisine I know very well is an Italian cuisine. So, and the Italian cuisine is huge, which means a lot of dish, a lot of pasta, a lot of type of pasta, a lot of sauce, a lot of everything. Well, our first restaurant is called Cotoletta. Cotoletta means that the word means veal chop Milanese in Italian, as you know. The great thing of the veal chop Milanese is for everybody. This dish is for everybody. Everybody like this dish. Means a lot of people. Sunday lunch, I can say huge table in my restaurant of big families. It can be the smaller guys is 3 years old. The oldest one is 15. The dad, the mom, and also the grandpa eating the same dish all together. So we find some dish, people love it. And we find the strategy, this can be the strategy, to do well that, to do that with a good service, and to do an idea of what people can love it. And the nice thing is, because when we find this idea, we say how we can bring people every month, because that is very important. Because sometimes you can go to the restaurant, but you wait 1, 2, 3 months before you came again. Now we have customers, they're gonna come every week, eating the same things. And look, if you think about Si Papa, is not something strange to think to eat a great piece of lasagna once a week. If you eat pizza once a week, you can eat also a great lasagna once a week. And you can eat also a great veal chop Milanese once a week. So that was less strongly what everyone was expecting. So
Amazing. And instead of just putting all those, let's say, restaurant concepts into one restaurant, you went from one to the second to the third. So you were expanding. And a lot of restaurateurs that I have interviewed over the past year told me that like rapid expansion kills the hospitality culture. So what's your take on that? How did you treat expanding so fast?
well, honestly, Matthew, I don't think growth kills hospitality.
Nice.
Losing your roots does.
Okay.
Each restaurant, each restaurant we open can be very different, but the values must always stay the same. That I think how hospitality stay alive. And I'm lacking that, because when we open restaurant, for sure, that can be tough sometimes, especially if you do that in a year like us. But if you have the great people, which means the great staff, that can be very easy. And our staff is like a family. I know people in my staff till I was a kid, till I was 3, 4 years old, and they work with me. And that is amazing. A lot of my staff, it was my students, which mean people studies with me, it works with me in the health business in Europe, and then they are here in a family with me. I mean, and that's very important. And when you open a restaurant and you have good staff and good employers, that means very easy. And that's why we open in 1 year
Nice.
this restaurant.
Let me then switch to talking about the staff. How can you convince, or let's say train your front of house to sell the concept of one single meal? I mean, this is not like typical case. Your front of house have to convince your like diners with a single meal. What kind of training do they get? How do you get them to buy the concept that you believe in?
That is a very great question, and always I still think about that. The secret of what you say to the customer, which is great, is to learn well and to feel comfortable in what you sell.
Okay.
If you agree that, and you know that, is very easy. Which means, look, if you are a waiter and you have a long list of ingredients of dish, and you never try, or you tried some of that, and sometimes you like some dish and sometimes you don't like other dish, that is really difficult to sell. So if you have something you like more than others, and you are a genuine and honest person, it's very difficult to sell. But if you have just one item and you are fall in love with that, well, Matthew, it's not easy. It's more.
Then you have to make sure they all
something
love
about
the dish
love.
that you have.
Well, yes, but I'm lucky. You know why? Because I have three different concepts, three different restaurants, which is my waiters can choose where they want to work, and
Nice.
that is nice.
Now, let me ask you, when interviewing someone to get hired, let's talk about those who did not, for example, study like with you or like come with you to the US. Like, what makes you hire someone right away? What makes you like someone that you want to hire them right away, like after an interview?
Um, well, I fall in love with people, and if people are pro- are thinking about the future, I will fall in love immediately. If they don't have an idea about service, because this is my work. I mean, I was a teacher and I know so well about service, and I can teach to everybody. I need people. I need good people. This is the point. I need people. They have a dream. I need people. They love what they do. I need people. I don't need people. They are amazing. I mean. I need people amazing, but not in
Yep.
not in the hospitality words. When I say words, it means some concrete. And yes, the good opportunity to work with us, for example, is to have colleague. They love what they do. I have waiters. They love what they do. I have manager. They love what they do. Busboy. They love what they do. Even the chef, they love what they do, and that is very important. So when you have this group of people and you try to find somebody else, and you have this type of energy, you just need people. They are curiosity. They are curious. Sorry, they are curious, and curious maybe is one of the best thing I want to find in a guy who want to work with me.
Nice.
Curiosity, which means.
Then let me ask you, like hospitality is known for the high turnover rate. And when you add the diverse market in like Miami and all the competition, it even makes things harder. How do you retain your like okay, you find those, let's say, curious, great talent and you hire them. How do you retain them? How do you keep them working with you without quitting or shifting to something else?
Well, I always think people needs to see in the future some opportunity, and people can see in the future some opportunity only if they can see as stairs, which means something they can grow up. First of all, we have three different concepts, and we can switch people to one restaurant to the other if they are looking for that. The other thing is we're still growing manager in our company. Actually, we can find somebody in Miami. Is more tough to find maybe a waiter than a manager. But if we grow our employee to grow as a manager, that should be a great opportunity for everybody. For me, because I need nice and smart people, and I need a community, a family, and for these guys to grow up in a beautiful family, which means nice people, great opportunity, and dreams.
Amazing. Now, let me ask you the opposite question. What gets you to fire someone right away? What is the one thing that if someone does or if someone says during an interview, it's the end? There's no way you can take it or just go with it.
I like nice and gentleman people. So if you are a gentleman and you are nice and you're, I don't know, sweet, that is the guy. If you're not correct, if you're not a good person, this is tough for me. And that is the only thing. Sometimes people speak bad, and I don't like that. You can be a very nice waiter or very nice chef, but if you don't have the sense of the beauty, which means the beauty in the community, that is very tough for me to continue something.
Yeah. Let me ask you about, like everyone recently have been talking about artificial intelligence and integration of AI into the hospitality sector. And in your case, I can see that, I mean, practically it's easier because if we have one item on the menu, then we can use AI just to order the same thing for everyone. What is that, let's say, added value that having a human front of house in your case? Why, what it adds to the hospitality or to the experience? Having a person.
As people made the difference, and well, the IA is very important for the world, but if you want to go to a nice Italian restaurant, eating one dish and having a nice dinner, you need people. That is such important. You must need people, great people, speaking about food, and and speaking about the the moment, and that is such important. It's all about people, and we can't switch never. I think in our life in the IA in this type of point, in this type of view, because I think, well, in my opinion, is really impossible. Really impossible. Maybe some restaurants or some types of restaurant can use that, but not the ones with people. People is everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what you just described over this interview is the kind of emotionally driven hospitality first environment that you have created over these restaurants. So, what is the one advice, like the most important advice that you would give to someone who wants to work in this same environment or wants to start something in this same environment? What would be your advice?
Well, is to think about the real sense of the hospitality. Suppose hospitality is emotional. It's not something easy. You work when other people go to the party, but it's beautiful that because it's about reading people. Is something more that. It's a presence, and uh, and that is can't replace it. It means it's beautiful, but you have to understand your works is emotional, and that's for some people is not something easy. But the sense of the hospitality is about feeling welcome, as you said,
Yeah.
and and that is so important to understand.
Let me wrap up this conversation with a single question about your future plans. Do you have any future plans? Do you have anything like, I don't know, something that you're now working on, maybe a new concept or a new thing, or maybe not? So what are the plans right now?
Well, I think we start a great concept, which we are allowed to think about the future. I don't know where is the future of the hospitality in general, but I do know people love to go to the restaurants. And that is a good point for me, because when I think that, I think maybe I can do better and better with what I do in another city, in another, maybe in another country. So I have a lot of responsibility with that, because we start a new era of hospitality in general, not me. People after COVID have a lot of priority, and we must take care about it. And when I say we have a lot of responsibilities, because when you open a restaurant or you open in general something, you have a responsibility with somebody. And I love to take care about the responsibility of other people. So I want to grow up in that. I want to do my thing better and better. And I want to open more restaurants if I can, with the great ideas and great concepts.
Thank you so much, Mateo, for this interesting conversation, introducing this interesting concept and introducing new words that probably everyone I have interviewed before haven't used. Talking about people like this deep, talking about hospitality, talking about simplicity, curiosity. Thank you so much for this. Thanks for your time and all the best for like maybe in 2026 the expansion plans and everything that you're planning for.
No, Matthew, I'm gonna say you thank you. I really appreciate that conversation. Was such interesting and important for me.